You're my friend there, that's a code of arms. It's the end, so let's just play the odds. You're my friend there, that's a code of arms. Sing along to the end, yes you know, babe. Where your friends at, take it in the yard. Never run to the end, something good. Call my friend now, that's a call to arms. Stick around to the end, some kids. Call your friend, so that's a call to arms. Stick around till the world stops kicking. Eyes from the street. Call my name. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. Call my name. This is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. I read the rituals on the wall behind the shelf of the car. The ends counted 409 and back into the wall. Success is the Thunderbolts. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. Call my name. This is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body, but this is your life. This is your body Formidable opponent, Formidable opponent, think you have the choice. Float, the moon is calling, a souvenir, a swimmer's rescue, a retourner. Left fixing the phone, mixing your liquids, now you're left for dead. Just pay your debts. Float, the moon is calling, a souvenir, a swimmer's rescue, a retourner. Left fixing the phone, mixing your liquids, now you're left for dead. Just pay your debts. Float, the moon is calling, a souvenir, a swimmer's rescue, a retourner. Left fixing the phone, mixing your liquids, now you're left for dead. Just pay your debts. Float, a formidable opponent, an angry crackpot, formidable opponent, dangerous lecture, formidable opponent. Walk out. Formidable opponent, think you have the choice. Formidable opponent, angry crackpot. Formidable opponent, dangerous lecture. Formidable opponent, you can walk out. Alright, what up, everybody? 12:05 a.m. What is it, the 23rd of June, 2020? Going into another damn space show. Another darn space show. Hope everybody's doing well. Had a good Monday. It's going to be as long as I can see the planets. I mean, it was looking really hazy, and I thought about not doing it, and then I set up and I just waited. So we get to see some great red storm tonight, which is awesome. And Saturn is coming up in tow, but it's actually pretty hazy around Saturn. So let's see what's going on with that. And started off with some jams from the old school archives. Hopping in the chat to say what's up to everyone. Genghis Khan, you're first. Yep, Great Red Spot just coming around the bend. Silent Murmur, Richard Garcia, what's happening? Victor, Mary, nice to see you. Positive vibes to the Space Tribe, hell yeah. Okay, so I don't know, I've got drift tonight. I feel like my alignment is what I do every night, but tonight it's kind of having a mind of its own. But yeah, I was watching a lot of videos tonight. I responded to a bunch of emails. I want to say thanks to everybody for the kind words, support, picking up music, all of it, and I appreciate your patience with my replies. It takes a while to go through everything. Last night was fun, and I actually went back and looked at a bunch of the last 20 shows, and I realized I had no tags on the videos. For some reason, stopped tagging the streams. So I was wondering what was going on with that, and then I changed some of the thumbnails, upgraded some of the titles. I actually timestamped and logged the Jupiter wave number 2 on a few videos ago, so if you want to look at that. Started a 2020 streams playlist to mark everything from this year. Just making it a little bit easier. Jupiter looking mighty nice right now. Io is actually on Jupiter right now. And I'm going to zoom out so we can see the moons and set that up, but it goes, let's see, I'll make sure I'm saying that right. The bottom left is Ganymede, which has shifted completely from the last few nights, being on the top right for I think 3 nights in a row. Now Ganymede is at the very bottom left, and then there's Jupiter, and there's Io right on top of Jupiter, about to creep off to the right. So I think within the next 30 minutes we'll see Io appear to the right of Jupiter, right on the rim. Then Callisto, top right, and Europa. I know you can't see that right now, but I'm going to just say them, and then I'll go wide. Tune while I set it up. stolen by the rock star. Don't know what they're killing for. Staring up at the familiar lights, enormous. Don't make me pay, 'cause don't wanna live another day. Because what does it all mean? Is it all just one bad dream? I'm trying to forgive, knocking my lips to break them apart. You're down into orbit, sparkle and tricks to sweeten the spores. Dying to forget, eyes of the world, don't let it go cold. Stuck in this orbit, sinking the coil, darling, just break my heart anymore. I can't take it. I believe it, I do. Oh, I can't take it. Where does this feeling come from? Where do I get the right to ask such outrageous questions? Where does this feeling get me? How do I know it's right to ask such crazy questions? Where will this feeling get me? Oh, where will this feeling get me? Now I know I have the right to ask those outrageous questions. But I'm trying to forgive, knocking those lips to break them apart. I'm trying to orbit, sparkle and tricks to sweeten the spore. Dying to forgive, eyes of the world, just let it go. Down. Stuck in this orbit, stuck in the coil, darling, just break my heart anymore. All right. A little bit of nomenclature up on the screen. Got Ganymede, like I said, Callisto and Europa. Io just about to peek off the top right corner, like the 2 o'clock position of Jupiter. Hopefully in the next like 20-30 minutes, so we'll catch that. What's going on? Jedi Princess, Lost Brooklyn, and Arum Vorax. Welcome, welcome. New tunage, really fresh demos, but let's just play them because why not? Because y'all are here and every trip is special. All right, this one's called In the Shadow. And it's, yeah, it's still really just like from last night, right after the show. I just decided to lay some tracks down. And then this one is an old jam after that with new lyrics. So, In the Shadow, followed by, what do I call this one? I don't know. It's like new recording. New recording 413 for now.
Sleepless pills all alone. Sleepless pills all alone. My dreams are makes them feel so high and low. Sleepless pills all alone. My dreams are made of feel so tiny. Sleepless pills all alone. My dreams are made of dreams so highly. At the corner of the field, I see another crime revealed. Do you think it's real? And how you think you see that silhouette redeemed against the moon is all of me. I raced against his pearl and let time drift off of me. And what you call the beat, and so you know it's real. I find the rest in you. And sleepless pills all alone. Like dreams are made to feel so high. Sleepless pills all alone. My dreams are made to feel so high. Sleepless pills all alone. My dreams are made to feel so tiny. Sleepless pills all alone. My dreams are made of dreams so high. Got enough, no doubt. Got to steal to have it all. I create everything that I want every day. So hard to live, which is wrong. Style says to suffer on. What you give if you could synthesize your every dream. I think it grows in hairy souls and trickles down the hemispheres into machines. Collective iris, the machine. Collective iris. Oh my love, I make no mistake when you arrive. No other will do. What dream is by? The love is misshapen, claiming for the crowd. I know it's up to you. Point me up into. What's your mythical action? I know you're distracting me from this dream I had been forced last night. I love geometry will lead. The music plays and get higher to space, man. Receiving the love, believing something. The music plays and get higher to space, kid. Receiving your love, deceiving nothing. The music plays and get higher to space, man. Receiving the love, believing something. The music plays and get higher to space, kid. Flying up so high, you break into my mind. Cut into the edge of my world. But I still need like the puppet's got to breathe. But I can feel your fire tearing up the street, tearing up the street. You feel like the free children dream. We still breathe 'cause there's something more to see. I can see the wires straining up to me, blowing on the sands of my heart. Yeah, something tells me twilight's coming on world. Ooh, deep inside it's always incredible. There goes another one, see her now climb the floor, sitting upside the thing, trying to be true, bringing up all the chairs, funny how you move, we will figure this in a sense, some would say it's just a part of you, like the seeds of the planet. Yes, you know what we're living in, turn up something. Another one now, so I just had another one now. Some would say it's just deal. Slowly you got to feel the reaching and needing. So, oh, falling, raising that fire, open your heart to the dream. Slowly rebound as it rages and hold on to air. So we can survive. Just float across the river. The cost of lost the river. All right, y'all. So I had a tiny bit of coffee left, so I went and made that with a lot more ice than coffee in this, but it's a sip. Been playing some of the new jams, lots of demos, and I was just pulling up a quick image side by side of Jupiter so you could see the kind of plasma field that actually emanates and interacts with the outer ether around Jupiter. There were some really fascinating videos I watched today. I watched some of See the Pattern, Gareth's videos about Jupiter, how he was kind of assessing the cylindrical Birkeland current going through Jupiter, assessing the heat, kind of lightning at the center of the equator, and other things like that. And I found, what else did I find? I found, getting a little bit scattered, but yeah, it was good stuff. So check out See the Pattern. I'll actually link y'all to a video right here. I'm just looking for it. I also watched a great video by Ken Wheeler called The Reality of NASA. And he has been talking about this for a lot of years, but I'm still going to post it. First, Gareth. Yo, what's going on, NGC? How's it going? And everybody else hanging out, thank you. Still watching Jupiter here, and I'm gonna switch over to Saturn in just a little bit. Yeah, Jurgen's on, all right. All right, check this out. This is really cool. So this is what I was saying earlier, where Io has been traveling to the right across Jupiter, and to the top right corner you'll see the moon Io actually start to appear momentarily. It's already flickering. Super cool. Yo, what's going on? Chris Kelly, welcome, nice to see you. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for, that's a great segue, because that is also what I was watching. I was watching Electric Universe Eyes channel, and I will link to him as well. All right, so first, Gareth. This is Gareth's video on Jupiter's electrical weather mystery. How is this powered and connected? So my opinion on it really is kind of, if you take Ken Wheeler's centrifugal divergent field
and the hyperboloid, you'll realize that these shells that are emanating from Jupiter are also being created at the same time. So it's kind of pulsating and oscillating. I feel like, hold on, let me lower this because I'm getting distracted. But yeah, I think there's really a lot of good science behind what Gareth is talking about. For me, it seems like every object in our universe actually oscillates and creates kind of a new imprint on the field around it, while at the same time interacting, sympathetically resonating with that field in order to interpret itself and echo with it. So we see everything as a single frame, but as things shift, they are creating imprinted echoes or layers. And so when you look through to the past or imagine a vector towards the future, you're still experiencing it from the frame now. So I feel like Jupiter and all the electric fields and the weather patterns are actually just created by an interaction layer between the outer regions of Jupiter's clouds and the surrounding space at different frequency resonance. And that's like a very simplistic way of understanding it, but that's what I think is happening. I know that Gareth kind of goes into, discussing the what-ifs of how it might be with Electric Universe, but for me it's a lot more, I don't want to say settled, but it definitely makes way more sense in the standard model that planets interact like human beings and things are connected as we are. So for me it's a very simple jump to take at this point. So that was See the Pattern. Let me give you Ken Wheeler's Reality of NASA video, because I think it's very fun and I've kind of been waiting for him to make a video about this, even though I've heard him say most of these things. So this is Ken Wheeler talking about how NASA is just a front for the cover-up of very high-level technology, which I'm sure y'all have heard me say a bunch of times. But anything UFO, alien-related, seems like it's our stuff. Our stuff, not my stuff, but certain parties' stuff. But it's very great, very good video. And then let me link to one more, which is Electric Universe Eyes. What's so funny is the caption of Electric Universe Eyes sounds like Electric Universe Size. It's very subtle. Yo, what's going on? Peter Battle. Love that name. Great handle. So Electric Universe Eyes was reading excerpts from Velikovsky, and that is wonderful because Velikovsky was sending Einstein letters about hey Einstein, let's check if Jupiter's electric. There are simple tests, and Einstein wasn't replying. He'd like shut down the DM. Pretty freaking hilarious over here. But all right, that is our friend over at Electric Universe Eyes doing the good work. Okay. Those were some links, some chats. Miguel says NASA snake coil. NGC says they own all the UFOs. Level of psychology. What is that, Mary? Sorry, maybe I missed the comment. Lol NASA, yep. I've said this before though, but can really, it's nice actually to have somebody else say it very clearly, which is, there's a nuance. There is a space station. There are definitely rovers somewhere. There's definitely pictures from outside of Earth. There's definitely like a public, very advanced technology sector. But at the same time, there's also a very hidden, extremely high technological sector. So it's really nuanced. It's not that everything is fake or everything is hoaxed. A lot of things are actually very real, but it's extremely primitive compared to what's possible. In even the layman's eyes, anything you can imagine you must have heard or read about in sci-fi is likely possible, but made using human technology. And that's really fascinating and also pretty depressing, because you know that only a small group of people can use that. But we'll see. I mean, he made a great point about how Space Force is really, you can't really fractionalize or, you know, carve up the hidden budgets past a certain point. So ultimately you're going to have to just actually start revealing what the programs are. And right now we have a Space Force, and yet nobody understands really anything about space. So how is it both? You know, same thing with like, went to the moon, can't go back to the moon. Sending rockets when 100 years ago they didn't want, they even like, they had papers talking about how rocket engines would be obsolete by the 60s or 70s because it was ridiculous to put men on the top of a missile, basically. Induction, electrostatic, electrogravitic, all that stuff is definitely possible. Therefore, like, I'm saying like a lot tonight, but therefore, high-level technology must exist in some form. And it's great to hear Ken talk about it in a full video. But of course, what's even, I don't want to say funnier, because actually kind of just, it's psychologically interesting for me to read the comments, but there is this kind of sense of like, what do you mean, Ken? You're not going far enough. You know what I mean? It's like, you believe NASA is sort of real, but not totally real. That's bullshit. To be nuanced is bullshit, but I'm pretty sure that it is that nuanced. It's got to be. It's very, very tricky and very complicated. The systems by which, or like the fundamental understanding of shells and electricity is actually quite simple, but the layers of complexity by which these manifest in terms of human culture is quite complicated. Anyway, enough about NASA. Here we are showing real space. And got the great red spot, but it's also dimming because one, Jupiter and Saturn are rising earlier, and I had to wait till the clouds cleared, so Jupiter's already getting out of my view. I'm going to switch over to Saturn momentarily, and it'll be a kind of brief show for tonight. Try again tomorrow. It's a bit earlier. Genghis Khan says, why keep it to themselves and let us suffer? Money? I mean, you could give any number of reasons. If you took it from like the most sinister thing is all people suck. There's this idea that humans collectively are terrible, which I don't believe, but there could be that. So a small group of people who have the technology are like, screw everybody. Like, why should we save mankind when mankind's intrinsically terrible? Now, and do they have any natural philosophers who they're talking to on a daily basis who's telling them, no, like, we're all conscious, we're all connected, we're all equal in that sense? And I don't think that's happening. The other one could be national security. You know, it could be, if you are on that side of it, you could say, hey, why share this technology with anybody? It's a risk. Other reason, you know, money doesn't make sense to me because the people who have this tech print money, basically don't need money. So I don't know if it's about money. I think money keeps the poor down and keeps the middle class striving not to be poor. It's, I think George Carlin said that, or somebody said that, but I'm paraphrasing, but I think it's pertinent. What's up, Esoteric Gold? I smell strawberry shortcake dolls, like my sisters used to have. Where is it coming from? I don't know, I'm not getting that reference, but sounds delicious, strawberry shortcake. All right, a little bit of tunage while I get a new drink, and I really wish we could stay with Jupiter a bit longer, but it's getting dim, damn. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Another cosmic stream. Feels good to do this work. Remember, consciousness, in my opinion, but maybe something to look into, the soul and the consciousness is outside, physically outside your body and not inside your head. Just saying it, because not a lot of people do. Think about it. All your life, all your time and all your memory taken everywhere with you as you drive in the car, you come home, you sleep inside your spheres of information, of history, of echo. I think I like that idea.
Say a word. You can love other people.
prison dagger loose in my mind. Crawling through the chasm, dragon chasing my hind. Moving through the plasma dragon, living some time. Living some time. You don't have to say a word. You can love other people.
Prism dagger from way back, but it fit the mood. Got a really wibbly wobbly Saturn right here. This is definitely due to the haze. It's been really hazy all night, right in that same area. So got a nice shot, but not as clear as last night. Last night was pretty incredible. We'll see tomorrow how it goes. But Jupiter is basically out of view for me, and Saturn is almost there too. So I'm gonna start wrapping it up here. Got a busy week, and I gotta stay on track. But let's see what I can play. Something from the old vault. Worth saying, Saturn has a giant field around it, and its rings, it seems, counter-rotate according to the way a Birkeland filament would be. So imagine a root, an electrical twisting root going through the poles of Saturn, and this root is connected back to the sun, and so on and so forth. And Saturn's moons that we're not really seeing right here, like Dione, Mimas, Rheas, Tethys, Iapetus, all connected the same way Saturn is connected to the sun through these giant electrical Birkeland filament roots. Likely Saturn's moons as well, in dimensionally smaller, but connected in the same way, powered from the outside and pushing from the inside. And GC, you actually have a prism dagger. That's pretty awesome. Is it like is it a custom blade, or did you just buy it like that? Can I see Pluto? Honestly, Pluto is so difficult. Even with perfect seeing, it would be so difficult. So definitely not a Pluto kind of night. I mean, Pluto, Venus, and Uranus all need, really good dark sky seeing and excellent calibration on lots of things to really get the type of viewing that we're seeing here. Like Saturn is a joke, kind of. You bring it into view, and all of a sudden you get this magical giant planet show up. But the others are really just tiny little blobs, as far as I've found. But that's it from an urban area, from star parties, you can definitely see a little bit more of a blob. Yeah, illustrations. Let me illustrate it just a little bit more while I have the moment and the floor. So it's super important to understand this idea of counter space, or what science calls dark matter. They say it's spooky and we can't see it, we don't understand it, but really the shape of it is the counter shape to what you see right now from Saturn. So Saturn is emitting radiation, and it's emitting radio waves, optical sensations, and essentially just resonance in these plasma shells. And we read, given the type of instrument, for example, right now we're using optics, we're seeing it. But if you look at it in radio, you'll get a certain type of signal. If you look at it in X-ray, you'll get a different type of signal. And things are just compounded, superimposed plasma imprints in a way. And I think that whole superimposition is the fact that it's moving along a Birkeland filament, creating this kind of echo onion skin trail behind it. And you kind of look into the past in a way, but you're only experiencing it from the moment of now. There is something that I've always had like a bit of a pet peeve about, this idea that light travels. Again, Ken Wheeler would be great when he discusses this idea of light doesn't travel. There's no such thing as a wave, and there's no such thing as a shadow. These are absence of light. A wave is what something does, and how light really just is kind of a field perturbation as opposed to an actual photon. Very interesting and important questions to ask about light and light speed, but really more so that the fact that we can see Saturn means that around Saturn is the reverse image in 3 dimensions, holding Saturn and pushing it together, compressing it, the same way our bodies are compressed into existence and then also push outwards by a pressure. So it's almost this equilibrium that is reached between the inner pressure and outer pressure, depending on where you are in this universe. But these layers as well imprint, for me, imprint memory and personality and culture. This is how things retain culture, personality, memory. That's something that I haven't heard Ken talk about. Really, Eileen McCusick talks about it, but actually, I'm sorry, Ken does talk about the soul, the anatman, or the tattvam asi, the thou art that. he actually was talking about a lot of really interesting stuff. I mean, I've been following Ken since the get-go. I mean, like 2013, 2014. But I've seen, hundreds of his videos, learned so much from him. But yeah, recently he just has learned to articulate it in a way that's so straightforward and makes perfect sense even to the layperson. So just a little sketch over here. Let me find my paint program. Just fundamentally understanding it is like having the keys to the galactic car, or matrix code sunglasses, where you put it on and you just understand what you're seeing in everything. Another thing that I noticed, which I can't really show you because we can't zoom into the Great Red Spot so clearly, but if you look at the Great Red Spot on your own, or tomorrow basically, I'll upload the image and we'll look at it side by side. The Great Red Storm is hexagonal on one side. And I would bet that many storms, actually, if you look at them, you could draw hexagonal corners. It's really profound, and it changes the way you really consider vortices and vortexial natures, tornadic structures. Similarly, yeah, just look at the Great Red Spot close up in any images, and you'll see the edges of it are actually 120-degree, like hexagons, especially the left side of it. So, sketch. And Saturn's racing away from me. Sweet. All right, so Birkeland filament. Twisting Birkeland filament going through Saturn. This is the caduceus, the DNA strand. This is going down your spinal column. And it's not just, parallel. It's coming out of like huge system, the sun over here, way far away, but like sending almost roots and branches out, containing or growing Saturn. And this allows for things like capturing planets, but it also allows for condensation of hydrogen into a liquid metal, because what happens is you get a Z-pinch right here, and the Z-pinch only occurs at the moment of now. You got the hyperboloid. I'm going to go quick here because it's going fast. You got the magnetic field. You got the inertial plane. If you see Ken Wheeler's ferrocell stuff, I'll show you this. Yeah, so the memory of Saturn is formed into the ether, and it carries it with it, so Saturn remembers everything that's happened to it the same way we remember things until we don't anymore. So that's just a little bit of sketching. Yeah, it's a little too messy tonight. I gotta fix my tracking and such. But that's just a tiny bit. Let me know what your thoughts are. I see some kaleidoscopic talk and sunstones and crystals. Love it all. Go out here with Sun 5, Moon 8, and I'll catch y'all maybe tomorrow or the day after. Super appreciate it, everybody. And thanks to everybody who wasn't here tonight. I hope y'all are doing well out there. All right, everybody. Till we ride again. And maybe some live jams soon.